All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. This time we're going to Yokohama, Japan for RIZIN 31. We're going to the super atomweight, 108 pound, 49 kilogram division. Kanna Asakura coming in at 18-5, welcoming Saori Oshima coming in at 6-2 to RIZIN. Now Asakura, of course, is the perennial title contender there. Oshima is the deep microweight and deep jewels atomweight champ, but so coming in, big size advantage there to Asakura. Also big experience discrepancy in her favor as well. So big favorite coming in Kanna Asakura compared to the massive underdog Saori Oshima. So first round, Oshima, she slipped in, landing a big right hand, and then she was able to get inside again, landed a trip on Asakura, and then the rest of the round was all Saori Oshima. You know, Asakura had to defend a scarf hold armbar. Oshima took her back, then it went back to the crucifix position, scarf hold to crucifix. Then Oshima attacked Asakura with an armbar. Just the entire first round, Oshima never stopped chaining together attacks. Constantly kept Kanna Asakura on the defense. It was just all Oshima in that first round. Went to second round, Oshima slipped on a kick, and then Asakura closed to the clinch, and Oshima got a takedown to the scarf hold, in the corner of the ring. Now, Asakura was able to get out, but Oshima kept attacked for a knee bar. Asakura got out of that, stood over Oshima, started landing some punches while standing over, and Oshima again attacked the knee of Asakura. Now, Asakura decided to come down into Oshima's guard, started landing some punches, but again, Oshima, she was threatening. She threatened with up kicks this time and was just always attacking with the submissions, chaining from one to another. And then there were a couple big up kicks from Oshima, and the round ended with Asakura still in Saori Oshima's guard. Third round, they came out and they traded on the feet for a little bit, and Asakura looked genuinely nervous on the feet. And even though she was the smaller fighter and not really known for her striking at all, Oshima was getting the better of those early exchanges. Closed with her, grabbed Asakura's head and pulled her down with the guillotine, jumping guard. But Asakura was able to get out and avoid the guard and escape to side control. So getting out of the guillotine, and then went back to half guard. They got too close to the ropes at one point, so the referee had them stop, reset them in the center from the same position. Oshima was able to sweep, but Asakura won the scramble, got back inside the guard. Oshima landed a couple big up kicks, but Asakura was in control this time. She passed the half guard, started landing some more hammer fists. Much needed strong third round for Asakura. Even though Oshima still had some good moments there, it was definitely, Asakura's round. So it went to the judges, and RIZIN, just like Pride, because this is literally the successor to Pride, same people running it and everything, uses the whole fight scoring, so they're not judging round by round. It went to a split decision. Two of them saw it for the winner, Saori Oshima. Now, one judge gave it to Asakura, most likely because of the strong third round. In the open fight scoring, it tends to favor the later parts of the fight more. But the other two judges probably saw it as Oshima coming closest to finishing between the crucifix and constantly attacking with submissions. That's why they would have given it to Oshima. Tell you what, this was a massive upset of a fight. I mean, I don't recall anyone actually picking Oshima to win. Now, I said in my weekend preview that people were really counting her out and that she is a legit threat on the ground, I still picked Asakura to win. Massive upset. There are some people trying to say, I've seen it on a couple different platforms, like, oh, it's not that surprising, but they didn't pick her. This is a very heavy grappling fight or grappling heavy fight, but I'll tell you what, this is the type of grappling fight that you want to show to people that don't appreciate grappling and just say, oh, they're just, holding each other on the ground. You show them this fight because this was non-stop action on the ground between Oshima always attacking, Asakura constantly trying to improve her positions and everything. This is the type of grappling heavy fight that you show to people that would just watch striking only fights. Oshima almost never stopped attacking. You ever heard the phrase ABC, always be closing? Oshima was ABA, always be attacking. Even when she was in disadvantageous positions, she kept Kanna Asakura on the defense, and it paid off. You rarely see a fighter who is constantly just always attacking. I mean, she was just chaining submissions and positions from one to the other. A very beautiful thing to see. Not that surprising though. I mean, she's 26 years old and has been doing judo for 23 years. And then, Asakura, surprisingly, she just could not get going in this fight at all. And that leads to asking the question, where does Kanna Asakura go from here? And we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's talk about Saori Oshima. She's a departure from what RIZIN usually pushes. They usually try to push these young girls, single, or don't even, try to advertise that they have a boyfriend or are married. And that's not the usual thing in WMMA because a lot of fighters, they just keep their lives very private and try to advertise that they're single or available. They just keep everything private. Whereas Saori Oshima, she's married with twin girls. They're only like 2, maybe 3 years old. And I think it shows that maybe RIZIN is going to use her to try to reach out to a little bit older audience, like more mature audience, because Japan is an aging society. Like they are out-aging. They have I think a negative birth rate almost. So they're aging, and this is like an appeal to the older generations that, oh, here's a nice, young family girl who has the job, but she's still raising her kids. Just an interesting note in that this is like a departure from what, you would usually see the Japanese MMA promotions pushing, especially a big show like RIZIN. Let's talk about Oshima's record here, okay? She made her pro debut early last year in 2020. So she's only been fighting professional MMA for 2 years. And in the last 13 months, she captured the deep microweight title, entered the Deep Jewels Atomweight tournament, winning the Deep Jewels Atomweight title. So that's 2 titles in 13 months. And then she moves up to a third weight class, only 3 pounds more, but still, it is a different weight class. And beating the perennial contender in the big show in Japan on her debut. I mean, she's never fought in front of a crowd that big. Oshima's record is probably the craziest I've seen for someone only fighting for just under 2 years. So the sky is the limit for this lady. Oh, and like I said earlier, she's doing this all while raising 2 kids. All right, so things to work on. For Kanna Asakura, she made a big mistake in rushing into the clinch in the second round. Never give your opponent exactly what they want. Also, she had the height advantage, she had the reach advantage, and did not use it at all. You got the height, you got the reach in a fight, you've got to use it. Granted, she's not used to having that advantage, but still, you got to use it when you get it. For Oshima, it's hard to pick her apart. It's hard to, really find things for her because this was such an amazing performance. biggest thing I saw, and one of the commentators mentioned it, so that's probably what brought it to my attention. Asakura had her in guard and half guard, or she was Asakura was in Oshima's guard and in half guard, and Oshima was keeping her left arm wrapped around Asakura's head. You got to be careful with that because that could lead to a Von Flue choke. And we've seen that before with Alicia Zapatella against Ashley Cummins. Now, for fights to make, this is not easy. This is a tough call. Okay, this for Asakura, it's the first time she has lost 2 fights in a row. She doesn't lose very often and usually goes on nice win streaks in between losses. So she's lost 2 in a row. First to Ayaka Hamasaki in a title rematch earlier this year. Now she lost to Oshima. RIZIN's got to be careful how they match her up next, and I'm not sure who they should do it with. For Oshima, RIZIN might try to bring her back again for New Year's. Another thing is she has 2 titles and she has 0 defenses of them. So she might go back to Deep or Deep Jewels and try to defend those titles next. Big thing is if RIZIN wants to utilize both of them, the travel restrictions are likely to loosen for Japan soon from what I'm seeing online. If those travel restrictions open up, they can finally start bringing in some fighters outside, and that'll make things a lot better for RIZIN. But as of right now, I'm not sure how they should match these 2 young ladies up next. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the fight. Great fight, huge upset, massive upset. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it as well. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.